Mistakes are a part of the game. In fact, most successful entrepreneurs will tell you they are where they are in life and in business because they collected and made more mistakes early on, learned from them, grew, and that's why they have the success that they have. It's less about where you've been. It's all about where you're going. And in today's episode, I'm going to discuss the 5 common mistakes that I see young sales professionals, entrepreneurs, loan originators make that if they just stopped making them, they would finally achieve the success that they desire. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Dio, what's poppin'?
Oh, look at you.
Fuck out of here with that weak shit.
Look at you.
No,
we got Happy JC for a
as
second.
Christmas. You see how awkward that was?
Fake ass Christmas.
No, like fake as Christmas. Like, yeah, that my excitement was as fake as Christmas.
Oh, as fake as Christmas.
Jesus
I thought
Christ.
you said fake ass.
No,
Like fake. Like,
as fake as Dustin.
okay, very
Boomer.
cool. Well, you know it's not fake? And what I got for Christmas?
That shirt.
This t-shirt that I'm rocking. Yeah,
Uncle
shout out to my
Badass.
niece.
Shout out.
My niece, who is one of my favorite humans.
So that means that you're an uncle?
Yeah, that makes me an uncle.
Okay.
Yep, my sister had 2 kids. Their names are Sierra and Jacob.
Yeah.
And I am their uncle.
I forget I'm an uncle because my wife has brothers with kids, so I'd be forgetting that I'm an uncle.
Yeah, technically, if you talk to my wife about that, she would say that those are your wife's nieces and nephews. So, like, I will say, oh, my niece and my nephew versus my wife's niece and nephew.
So you have to insert my wife or my...
I mean, technically, yes. Because, but Sierra and Jacob are blood related to
So
me.
your
because
real nephew and
it's
niece.
my full sister. She had these children with a man that she was married to. And yes, but my niece, who she's a grown ass adult, well, yeah, she's getting there, right? She's in her mid to late 20s, but she referred to me to one of her friends. Oh, this is my Uncle D. He is such a badass. And then somehow that night, and maybe alcohol was involved, she just started referring to me as Uncle Badass. So then as a joke, she bought me for Christmas. Maybe I thought it was a joke. Maybe she's being serious. This t-shirt that I'm rocking, that's Uncle Badass. And I was saying to Jacqueline, the intern, I'm like, oh, how cool would it be if we like came up with this entire alter ego on TikTok where it was
You being Uncle Badass.
me being Uncle Badass, because I keep on wanting to get Jacqueline to like refer to me as her cool uncle. And instead she just says, no, you remind me of my dad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I'm as old as your dad.
You are that old, Dustin.
I know I'm that old, but I kind of prefer and I embrace the cool uncle aspect or AKA Uncle Badass, hence this Christmas present that I'm rocking today.
Cool uncles are usually the first ones to give you your first sip of beer underage or your first hit of the joint when you shouldn't be smoking. So
Yeah.
shout out to you, Dustin. And
Shout out to me.
Shout out to you and
Promoting
all
underage drinking and blunt smoking.
That's the only way to start is underage, Dustin, because if you start when you're older, you're just a loser.
Is that what it is?
Well, you see what happens when people don't drink in college and they get out on their first fucking corporate field trip. You see how they be acting in the lobby. Because they don't have enough. They're
not practiced.
They don't have enough long nights under their belt.
They're not calloused.
The first time we went out, remember, you were like, how is he alive? You were like, this guy's not gonna make it. I made a bad hire. And I showed up 20 minutes later with the camera hitting record, Dustin.
True story.
Do you know why?
True story.
Because
drugs.
I was binge
Lots of drugs.
drugs, and I was binge drinking since sophomore year in high school. That's why. My
Yeah,
whole
we
life
don't, we
prepared.
don't preach that. We don't recommend that, John.
What you mean? The truth? Fuck, I don't get what you mean.
You can tell you have not created and raised 2 little humans.
Thank God.
There's a do as I say versus
not as I do. My dad
did.
said that all the time, and I still did both. What he said and what I wasn't supposed to do. So,
Yeah, no, it's a funny story. We won't bore people today. You know what? Come hang out with me in Greenville, South Carolina on February 19th, which is a Wednesday at the Lazy Goat. And after we're done networking and presenting, we're going to have a happy hour.
Pappies. Give him a bottle of Pappies.
Wow, give me a bottle of Pappy's. I'll just unload on you. I'm just saying, like, have a beer with me. And if you have a beer with me, then I'll be more than happy to give you the long version of this story. But yeah, John had been onboarded for maybe 3 days. We had a big sales conference in Vegas. I wanted John to go because I wanted him to document it. It was our first stint at making content. And I was up the next morning, showered and dressed, and I was walking to my first meeting.
Getting off the elevator.
And I see him sneaking around the corner wearing the same clothes
Off the plane.
that he was wearing on the plane the day before, and it was evident he was going to bed for the first time.
No sleep.
And I was like, oh, this is not going to work out well. I promise you, 20 minutes later, he's right. He showed up and performed. You may have taken a power nap sometime later that day, but you didn't miss the meeting I needed you for, and we're better because of it today. we are here today because of that, John.
We're still using that footage. You asked me, like, can I get that footage? You really like that? Yeah,
the footage was really good, but no, you and I are still in business together.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because had you not shown up, that probably would have been our first and last time hanging out.
I know, man.
Yeah, so kudos to you. Hey, quick shout out to all of our friends over at Mortgage Con. Bro, that event lit it up. Universal Studios, top notch, one of a kind, and a little teaser. Don't miss MortgageCon next year, right? So this was MortgageCon 2025. It's going to be back. I promise you it's going to be even better with a new theme. This year's theme, Indiana Jones. Next year's theme is going to be something totally different, but you're not going to want to miss it. But you're also not going to miss the episodes that John and I were able to record when we were live and on location with some really top-notch guests. John's going to be dropping those every Friday for the next few Fridays. So make sure you're tuning in to TLOP.
Yes.
All right. Today's show, check this out.
Okay.
We got a new sponsor.
Oh, shit.
We got a new sponsor. Our friends, our colleagues over at Lower Mortgage.
Lower.
Over
How about
at
you
Lower?
back up? How about you take a deep breath, take a step back, and don't butcher the sponsor's name,
Okay.
Dustin.
Shout out to our sponsor. Today's sponsor of the show is Lower Mortgage. Shout out to Lower. Yes. They reached out and they said, look, we are on a mission to represent mortgage lending of the future. We're already a top 25 lender. We're already funding $500+ million per month. We feel like we are on a mission to become the most respected lender in the country, a top 10 lender in the country. We're going to help become a top 10 lender in the country by helping our branches and our originators become top 5 in each of their markets.
That makes sense.
We are onboarding the right people. We're deploying the capital. We got the capital. They raised $100 million from Silicon Valley. They're going to dominate traditional networking, online networking, and creating a work environment that is tech-enabled, future forward, and one of the best places to work. So if you're ever interested in learning more about Lower, and you don't want to take John's word for it or my word for it, okay, they make it super easy. And by the way, y'all who work for other mortgage companies should totally swipe and adapt this, because I think this is a badass idea. Okay, every other Thursday, they offer a no pressure, anonymous, no questions, hop on and let us present to you why we are doing what we're doing, where we're trying to go, and help you kind of look under the hood without being recruited. Look under the hood without the sales pressure and all that comes with like being recruited, that sometimes if we're not ready for it can be a little bit icky. So if you're ever interested in being included in one of those calls, I believe they call them Lower Launchpad is like the brand name for the call. All you have to do is reach out to my guy, Connor Bartley over at Lower. His email, cbartley, that's CBARTLEY @lower.com. Connor can make sure you get invited to the Lower Launchpad. You won't be sold. You won't be recruited. You won't see your face, and no one will know that you're on the call, but it gives you an opportunity to look under the hood. And as a show sponsor, I told them that for the right price, I'd be more than happy to let the entire world know that they are currently in hyper growth mode. And if you want to look under the hood, this call every other Thursday is the way to do it. Reaching out to Connor Bartley is a great way to make sure that you get the link and get the invite. And by the way, total side note, Connor Bartley is one of my favorite people on LinkedIn to follow. So if you're on LinkedIn, make sure you follow him. I was friends with Connor through LinkedIn well before he and I were ever coworkers, all because of LinkedIn. So make sure you're checking him out. And thank you to today's show sponsor, Lower.
I mess with Lower too because they still employ me after this long.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to you.
But I keep my jobs for like decades though, Dustin. I'm not a job hopper.
You are not a job hopper. You were at EA Sports for 13 years.
I was at,
then you came to Waterstone for like what? For 4 years, and now you're here.
Yeah, because you know what I do? One of my first objectives is to find out the deepest amount of dirt on the highest person, and then let them know, that I didn't sign any type of NDA or waiver. So you let me go, your trash will be all over the internet.
Oh, is that what you did at Lower already? Or are you still looking to do that?
Oh, I got my dirt first 2 weeks.
Oh, you got it. Okay, so you're holding on to that tight. Hopefully, it's not on me.
No, because if I implode you, that's self-sabotage. That's Plexico burst, man. I don't want to shoot myself. Come on, man.
Very cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode.
Yes.
Yeah. So
one of my favorites.
And here's the deal. I was doing something for Rocky's MLO study.
Shout out
buddy.
Rocky, by the way.
I love me some Rocky Lagurgio. That dude is changing lives.
He is, man.
Like if you're ever looking, or you have an associate that you've hired that's struggling with passing the NMLS, go to MLO Study Buddy on Facebook. Go to their website. Google Rocky Lagurgio, MLO Study Buddy. He does a phenomenal job of giving people what they need in order to pass that exam. So anyhow, I was doing something for Rocky the other night. We had like 75 people on the call.
Yeah.
And through this call that I was doing pro bono, it's my way of promoting TLOP, promoting what we're doing with the TLOP's originator coaching, etc. And it's my way of just giving back to Rocky because he gives so much to us. That 2 of today's like 5 what not to do's came from that call. The other 3 came from a private coaching call I was just on like an hour ago. All right, so let's get into this in no particular order, right? Because I wrote them down, scribbly notes on a notepad. But it's like I wanted to almost title this like.
No, you should. I will title it, but go ahead.
Quit being weak, you weak ass bitch. Like,
yeah, stop being a weak bitch in sales. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's what I wanted to say, but I can't say that.
Why? We just did.
Well, yeah, but we can't title it that way.
Why
we want to
not?
be positive.
You want to be positive. I want to be realistic.
I want to be a good human. A likable human.
No, fuck being likable. I'm a good human because I tell it like it is and I tell the truth, sir.
Okay. So, mortgage brokers, sales professionals, entrepreneurs. Here are 5 things that through coaching thousands, employing hundreds
of millions,
doing 20 plus years of sales and marketing.
I don't know how.
Okay. That I have learned by following the patterns. Okay. It becomes to where you can almost within seconds diagnose what's going on just based on where the conversation is going. Like I can almost cut people off, which I do sometimes. And
sometimes.
Okay, often. Maybe too
often.
Hold on,
God.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, before you get that started, hold on. Let me talk to you about.
I'm sorry.
Let me talk to you about our MLO coaching community really quick. Before you get started, hold that thought. It's bar none the best value in the industry.
Oh, God. Okay. Look.
Some people are charging. Okay, go.
I can't help it if my brain works so fast that your slow-ass brain takes time to catch up.
I'm weak, Dustin. That's why you're making this episode just for me.
Just for you.
The weaklings out there.
All right. No, these are the 5 things that if you were to stop making these mistakes, you would achieve the sales success that you desire.
That's true.
All right. So here's the first one. I understand there's a saying, the riches are in the niches. No, the niches are for the bitches. Like, quit being a little bitch. Okay, I'm looking specifically at my mortgage origination.
People. Originators.
Mortgage brokers, loan officers, VPs of lending, whatever you want to call yourself. I understand that we have to offer all products. Non-warrantable condos, condo tells, I-10, DPA, non-QM,
DSCR,
bank statement, DSCR. Yes.
How do you know?
Yes. But the biggest mistake I watch y'all make in masses, as you get licensed, as you get employed, you look at the competition, you get scared, and you're like, I'm not going to go after calling on those realtors that sell all the homes. I'm not going to go call on the real estate offices that have the most realtors who are transacting the most transactions.
No, none of
I'm
that.
going to go where no one else is going because that's where I'm going to make my mark. Y'all, there's a reason why no one's calling on those offices. There's no business there. Damn. That's like wanting to go fish at the certain spot in the lake where no one else is. There's a reason why no one else is there because the fish don't bite there.
It's a retention pond.
Okay,
people.
but it's weak to say I'm going to go and try to carve out and like you're going to go reinvent the wheel. No, follow the patterns. Step in the footprints that were left before you, and it'll lead you to the promised land. The same thing goes for products. Well, I'm going to be someone who just focuses on doing bank statement loans. I'm like, cool, bro. If there were 100 loans being originated, or 1,000 loans, or 1,000,000 loans being originated, how many per 100 are actually bank statement? That answer, less than 3. Less than 3 out of 100. The bulk of the loans being originated are FHA, VA, conventional, some USDA, and then your standard jumbo. If that's where the fish are biting, that's the bait that's working, that's where you go. It is weak to not want to go after that. You're doing it because you're scared, and it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be new. It's okay to be afraid. But it's not okay to try to reinvent the wheel. It is not okay to not face your fears and to overcome what scares you. You have to attack it head on, and I promise you, you'll be better because of it, and that is what will lead you to the promised land. I'm not saying, talked to a guy last night. He goes, I'm a veteran. I want to market myself to veterans, and I want to do VA home loans. And I said, high freaking five. Like, sell the hell out of the fact that you're a veteran. Leverage it. Use it to get realtors to want to meet with you. And what types of realtors should you be looking for? Well, start with the realtors who are also veterans. You have something in common. And tell all your marketing collateral that you are a VA home loan expert. But I said, sir, there's not enough VA home loans to go around that you could make a massive career out of it.
What did he say back to you as a rebuttal?
He said, that's freaking awesome. Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Oh, okay.
Like, he needed to hear that. Like, I gave him permission to leverage the fact that he's a veteran to get people to meet with him. I told him how to look for other realtors that, by the way, are full-time and professional, but that were veterans. Start with them. On all of his marketing collateral, say he's a VA home loan expert. And I'm totally cool if 25 or 35% of his business is in our VA home loans. Now, if he was in an area with a lot of military bases, it could be 75%, right? Like we have friends up in Niceville, Florida, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Half their business is VA because of the number of military bases, right? If you are in certain areas of North Carolina or Georgia or Alabama or anywhere where we have massive military bases, it could be a large percentage. For most of us, it's not going to be. So I see this particular with, I'm going to do DSCR and I'm going to go after investors. I'm like, look, unless you're already a part of that community, which like we have coaching clients, like shout out to Adam Corrigan. Adam Corrigan graduated from Launch a couple semesters ago. And Adam got into the business through the website Bigger Pockets. Okay, well, Bigger Pockets is the place for real estate investors to go. Adam was purchasing leads from Bigger Pockets. It makes sense that half of Adam's business is DSCR. Makes perfect sense. Most of us are not Adam Corrigan, right? We've graduated 40 students from LO Launch. There's been one Adam Corrigan. So it's like, for most of us, the 39, quit chasing niches. That is like the biggest mistake I see sales professionals and originators make. And normally it comes down to because they're scared, they're afraid, they're doing what I call striking out on deck.
What would you suggest? Like, how should they cut their teeth? Because I think they're just going after that because they feel like I have nothing to offer this mega producer who's a realtor. I'll call the office. I have nothing to offer. So I'll just stick my head in the sand and go call this other thing.
Because they don't understand that what they're offering is themselves. People do business with people, period. People. They're not buying you for your product. Yes, you'll use product to get your foot in the door. Yes, you'll use product as a way to say, look, I do everything under the sun, whether it's a $40,000 USDA condo, it's a loan for a professional athlete who's purchasing a $3 million house, or it's a small business owner that can't prove their income. I have a loan product for everybody. I'm a professional mortgage lender. So do I work with first-time home buyers? Yes. Do I specialize in it? No. I specialize in helping people obtain mortgages to purchase real estate, all people. So ultimately, what are you offering? You're offering you. Are you a good human? Are you accessible? Do you communicate effectively? Do you pick up the phone when it rings? Do you have the ability to take information down, do a bunch of research, and then come back with solutions? Because that's what you have to do when you're new and you don't know the answers. You can still be super nice. You can still be super helpful. You can still sit down with a real estate agent, figure out what their actual business goals are, and ask them how you can participate. It may be going door knocking with them. It may be working on an open house for them. It may be calling all of their old leads for them. There is a way that you can provide value, even if you don't know the FHA handbook like the back of your hand. But you sure as hell should not pigeonhole yourself into calling on offices that no one else calls on, because there's a reason. And you shouldn't try to pigeonhole yourself on these specialty products that honestly make up a single digit small fraction percentage of all the total loans that are being originated in today's day and age. So that's mistake number one.
Okay.
Stop doing it. I promise you, if you follow our advice, you're going to be more successful in the long run.
Word.
All right, here's another number two, we'll call it.
Okay.
Right? Stop doing this. And if you stop doing this, you will be more successful. And it's actually, it's like, stop doing this because there's more you can do. And the note that I made for myself, it's like, stop just sending a message or just doing an online inquiry. Like, we start at the very infancy of someone's career, and we teach them the career opportunity you want will not be found online.
Hell no.
Like, my 19-year-old son called me because he's looking for summer internships. And he asked me, hey, Dad, do you think it'd be a bad idea if I called, emailed, or showed up to the place that I'm most interested in interning? Or should I just do the online inquiry?
Well, do you want the job, damn it? I'd do all three twice.
Correct. And that was my answer. Like, luckily, my 19-year-old knew enough to say, maybe I should do some more to stand out. It's like, how bad do you want it? Right? So if you're just sending someone a message, you don't want it bad enough. If you're just applying online for that potential career opportunity you want, you don't want it bad enough. So many times, like, I see it in Facebook groups. Like, we coach our originators to be a part of Facebook groups, like real estate groups or other type of like online communities where people are like asking for help. And you know what they do? They just like tag themselves, call me or DM me. No, if you want it bad enough, you click on that person's profile, you see their first and last name, you Google them, you find their phone number, and you call them. After you call them and they don't pick up, you leave a voicemail, you text them. After they don't reply to your text, you then DM them. After you DM them, you then go on that same thread that's on that Facebook group and say, hey, at John Coleman, I just left you a voicemail, shot you a text, and DM'd you.
Stop ghosting me.
Well, yeah, I'd love to get one-on-one with you to give you some more attention to help solve for whatever it is they're trying to solve for. So too many times in business, we all, because we're passive, we don't want to be rejected. So if I just send a message, if I just at myself,
It's easy.
it's easy. If I just apply online,
I won't feel hurt when they ignore me.
correct. And it's like, no, we are in business to help people. We are in business to generate leads. We are in business to convert leads into transactions that generate revenue. We cannot just passively sit back because being shy, as it was taught to me, is expensive. That's being shy. If you truly want to change, stop just relying on some kind of electronic messaging. Show up at their door, stop by their office, give them a phone call, research them, send them a DM, send them a text, hit them from multiple angles. And just like you said about my son, sometimes do it twice. Do it twice. All right, number 3. And this kind of correlates with number 2.
Okay.
But I see it over and over and over again.
Dummies.
Y'all have to ask for the business.
They never ask for the business at the end, Dustin. Why? Every time they don't. I feel weird. We had such a great time. They were laughing. I hate to ruin the relationship and the momentum I built by asking them for the business, Dustin.
Cool. How do you get paid? Did those people pay you to show up and perform for them?
No.
Okay, so how do you get paid?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I am job.
Yes.
Yes.
Give me job.
No, you look. I did this terribly in my career with my friends and family most. with my friends and family most, I didn't want to be, oh, icky.
I don't want to be that.
But here's the
guy.
deal. They all expected it. They know me. They love me. They know I'm a high D, driven, charged, run you over type person. But I just didn't ask them for the business. I later learned, a coach taught me this. The minute I started asking for the business, all of a sudden I started doing more loans for not just my friends and my family, but the people they knew.
Duh.
And all I had to do is I used this script. I'd be like, hey, Brian, I probably haven't done the best job for the past 10 years with this, but I want to let you know that you are never bothering me when you call me with a question regarding real estate, personal finance, or mortgage. Like, I don't know if you know this, but every single day I give out free advice to strangers as it pertains to real estate, mortgage, and personal finance that I'd prefer to do with people like you that I care about. So just know I'm never bothering you. You're never bothering me. And I'd be honored if you made sure that you got my name and number to anyone that you know, because they're not going to be bothering me anyhow, because I do this for strangers, right? Like, I found a way to say that to where I felt comfortable asking for the business. Now, when I fast forward, that was so like 2016 and 2018 for me. When I fast forward in 2024, 2025, for me, it's, hey, who do you know? Like, I just got into who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? I was given a presentation to Total Mortgage, and I was talking about one-to-many. I was teaching them the power of one-to-many, and I had to say to them, look, I'm doing one-to-many right now. In fact, let me take a moment. Who do you know that is looking for business coaching? Who do you know that needs sales training? Who do you know that would love to book me at their next event? And I hit them with the who do you know. It needs to become almost subconscious, but collectively, none of us ask for the business. I had a coaching client, John. I'll stop on this one. Don't want to give names because I know she tunes into the show. But she was loved by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Loved. I'm talking, they went out for Wind Down Wednesday together.
Love me this Jane Doe.
They did girl trips together.
Mm-hmm.
They got together for beach days.
Yep.
Yet she never got referrals.
The hell?
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I said, are you not asking for it?
No, was I supposed to? I thought I was just supposed to be so friendly that they just offered up the business on a silver platter, Dustin.
Yeah, and I go, by the way, through those Wind Down Wednesdays, those beach days, those
Thousands
girls trips
of dollars.
Well, I'm saying to this, you've earned the right to say, yo, what's up? Hey, what's up? You know what I do for a living, right? You know I'd love to go on another trip with you, but right now, I got to pay my bills.
I have a question.
Who do you know?
How many times have you wined and dined a realtor or a potential borrower or a prospect, and then, like, when you did ask for the business, did they be like, nah, and like dish you? Like sugar daddy, like give me
Very rarely will someone say, nah. I mean, they'll brush you off. They'll ghost you after the fact. Yeah, that's part of the game. That's all part of the game. Yeah, like, I mean, not every dude some chick dates is going to be her husband, right? Not every drink some dude buys is that chick going to give her number or accept a date request. Like, it truly is a numbers game. But I have coaching clients that have come to me, and once we analyzed their business, I was like, are you not asking for it? So then we spent a whole entire coaching session putting together the right words for them to use based on the various cases or case studies because like there's a way to ask for business from your friends and family that maybe you just haven't been targeting them. Then there's a way of like your homeboys, your homegirls. It's like, nah, like be straight up with them. Like however you talk to them, like don't use my words, use your words. Mm-hmm. But across the board, too many times they see you as, oh yeah, that's my friend. She's in real estate or she does mortgages. But do you know that she wants you to call her for your mortgage needs? Do you know that she wants you to refer her to realtors and builders and financial advisors? Then I asked her, I said, how many times have you hit your girlfriends up? None.
Yeah, you've had a lot of top producers on the show, from like Shant and
Shayla.
And, yeah, that's
Ian.
literally like what they all say in common. And this is coming from me, someone who's definitely not in the mortgage industry. That's the one thing they all say is like, I just started asking for the business and then my business took off.
Yes. Hey, who do you know? It's real simple to tell someone, hey, look, in 2025, I'm actually in growth mode at my business. We're taking on more clients. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who do you know that I should be connected with? And by the way, John, my clients are real estate agents, builders, and financial advisors. Now, don't get me wrong. anyone that you work with, anyone that is your neighbor that you hear is looking to buy and sell real estate or needs a home loan, please have them call me. You're doing me a favor. You're never bothering me, John, when they call me. But my clients, the other professionals that I serve, are realtors, builders, and financial advisors, and I'm taking on more clients. Who do you know, John? Right? Like, I should be hitting everybody up with that. What's the worst thing they're going to say? I don't know anybody. Seriously, you don't know anybody? I bet you do. Like, what would happen, John, right now if you went to Facebook? How many realtors do you know? Because I would love a connection.
But I think there's where that stopgap is, because you have the ability to slightly strong arm people and like push through that. But like, if I got that, that's where most people fall and crumble.
But guess what? I want it. I want it. Like, I got bills to pay. Like, I got certain adventures I want to go on. I want to go on a freaking African safari. That shit's not cheap. Right? I dream of the day that my daughter gets married and the badass reception that we're going to throw and the amazing dance that she and I are going to do, and it's going to get on TikTok and it's going to go viral. That shit's expensive. I want to retire. There's a certain lifestyle I want to retire. I want to go spend time out west. Like, there's so many things I want to do in my life. I don't have time to pitter patter around. Like, I can ask for it. I can be me. Like, don't get me wrong. A tactic I've always used is humor, right? Like, I got one of my first girlfriends to go on a date. I was too scared to flat out ask her to go on a date with me. So I said, like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I thought this weekend was the weekend that we were going to go on a date together. Okay. She looked at me and she didn't say, ooh, gross. But had she said, ooh, gross, I would have been like, I'm just joking. I would never date you. Right? I left that for me. I have a way of asking for things. I know what I want, but I leave myself a little bit of an out. Now, that girl actually said yes. We did it for like 10 months in high school. But I think all of us need to go for what we want. Like, you got to ask for it. You got to shoot your shot. So, yes, not asking for the business is a very common mistake that we got to almost beat out of lower producers, average producers, before they ever can become top producers. That has to be worked out in one way or the other. All right, number 4. So here's the 4th most common mistake I see sales professionals, mortgage brokers, loan originators make.
Wow.
And it's thinking that they're the only one that can do something.
I am the only person who can do this initiative, so I'm going to do it all by myself. God damn it.
John, I struggle with you on this.
Oh, what?
Yes. Do you think it's going to be easy for me to take the editing of our show away from you?
No.
No, it's not going to be easy, or yes, it's going to be easy?
Oh, it's going to be easy for you, yes.
You think so?
I don't know. This is what professors ask me. I ask both yes, no, both wrong answers. Like, I'm talking to my wife. Which do you want, damn it?
John, do you think you will easily let someone else in the future produce and edit our show?
Probably not. Easily? I mean, I hope so. Yeah, here.
In order for us to take the next step, we're going to have to hire a producer.
I look forward to the day.
Okay, well, I'm anticipating having to coach you through that.
Well, I'll look at the edit and be like, what the hell is this? You did it all wrong.
Perfect.
And
then tell them how to do it better.
Yeah.
Then set the better, proper expectation up front of what it is that you're looking for.
I can't hire a better replacement, Dustin. That's next chapter.
Okay. So here's the 4th mistake. When you get to be good and you're on your way to great, at some point from good to great comes scaling. And scaling is finding a who and not a how. Because there's only so many hours. So there's only one of you. There's only so much bandwidth, so much energy you can give something. So for you to think that you're the only person who can do that one thing, like, that's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, one of the most self-centered things I've ever heard, and one of the most untrue things. I'm not saying that someone's going to do it my way every time. What I have learned the hard way is that someone can do it their way, and their way can be just as good as my way. Or someone can do it at 90% as good as I think I do it, which, by the way,
still not
none of us think we do that. We're as good as, like, none of us are as good as we think we are. But even 90% as good as me could be 95% as good as everyone else. At which point, in order for me to scale, I'm going to have to allow others to do their job. I can set proper expectations. I can provide policies, procedures, best practices, training guides, training manuals, and we can meet every single week to where I can review
Justin,
what they're doing.
I hear you, but it took me 9 years to build this business to be humming and running at this level of efficiency. The last thing I want to do is give up the reins to a junior associate who's just going to fuck everything up.
Cool. Then I hope you love where you are, and I hope that you're not wanting more or wanting better.
Of course I want more, and of course I
No.
want better. That's why I'm working 90 hours a day to make everything. I have to control everything.
Then I'm going to hit you with nothing changes if nothing changes. You got to make a change. Don't get me wrong. I have grown a team, and throughout growing a team, I had certain referral sources that didn't want to refer me anymore because they wanted to work with me and just me. That's fine. Cool. Some will, some won't. Who cares? Move on. The minute I built a team, I learned I could start focusing on real estate agents or financial advisors who had big teams. I speak their language. I'm one of them. Now when we have coffee or beers after work, we're not just talking shop. We're talking about like leadership styles and management styles and books that we're reading all about becoming better leaders and managers. And they don't care if one of their clients comes to me or it comes to my team captain. What they care about, does their client get taken care of? Do I create a culture at which point we all follow the same systems and processes and treat all clients the same way as they come through our assembly line? Like, that's what those people care about. Some of my referral sources quit referring me. They didn't love Kevin the way they loved me. That's fine. I just went out and found more, right? Because I'm always in growth mode. Growth mode means I'm professionally growing, I'm growing my team, and I'm growing my clientele base, which means I need to get rid of some clients. I need to add new clients. It's that simple. So stop making this mistake. If you want to go from good to great, you gotta understand that you are not the only person who can do something, and that there are others that can do it as well as you. And if you're really good, they can do it better than you if you give them time and proper direction. And then the fifth, like, stop doing this, and if you stop doing this, you'll be better. Okay, is this right here. Stop allowing other people to take advantage of you and your time. Your time is the number one commodity. It's the one thing that you can't make any more of. You have to protect it at all costs. You have to make sure when you're spending your time, you're spending it doing the things that have the highest payoff. And by the way, highest payoff could be spending time with my daughter. Okay, it doesn't pay me any money, but
pays you in life tokens, Dustin.
It pays me in life tokens. Yes, it does. But when I study the coaching students that are coming through our various programs, when I look at myself coming up through the ranks of this industry and the mistakes that I was making, I've made all 5 of these mistakes. Multiple times, and times it by 10, which is how I was able to get to where I'm going and where I've been, is because I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I relish in not making the same mistake multiple times. I stay in growth mode. I focus less about where I've been and more about where I'm going, although where I've been have taught me valuable lessons. I used to allow borrowers to spend an hour with me, sometimes through various calls, peppering me with questions and scenarios, and I was at their beck and call Sunday running numbers for them, and they had never once given me their information. They hadn't applied online. I hadn't run their credit. I don't have their income or their asset documents. I was allowing that client to take advantage of me because I had no commitment from them. The minute I pull their credit, even if it's a soft pull, the minute I collect some income and asset docs, even if it's all done through online verification and not actually scanned copies of their W-2 and their pay stub, I have a commitment from them. Plus, I am actually working off of real tangible data, which means I have data integrity. I failed miserably in the beginning of my career when I was a rookie, when I was a sophomore, when I was good but not great because I allowed people to take advantage of me and of my time. Something else that I've allowed people to take advantage of me and my time would be early on, and we all have to do this. Early on in my career, I need to be like, hey, look, send me your 585 FHA, send me your down payment assistance. Like, I'll do those loans. Send me your rescues. But eventually, once I've earned the respect of that referral source, I can't allow them to only want to send me their down payment assistance, their 585 FHA, or their rescue deals. At some point, I'm going to be a big boy and a professional and have that conversation where I'm like, look, John, I love working with you. Out of curiosity, are all of your borrowers low credit or needing down payment assistance? Do all your transactions, come down to the 11th hour and need rescue? Or is that just the perception I have because that's all the opportunities I've had? Right. And what I'm getting at is, yo, bro.
Stop sending me all these shitty loans. I know you do better, easier loans than this.
Yes, I appreciate you. Don't get me wrong. I love these opportunities, and I think you and I work really well together. Mm-hmm. But please know, I do all loans, not just low credit, not just DPA, not just rescue loans. So it'd be awesome if you and I got an opportunity to work together more often. And that more often was because you referred me your more traditional, conventional FHA, not fire drill type transactions. So these are ways, and that's a tough conversation to have. I promise you, once you have it though, it's super empowering. Just like firing a borrower is super empowering, just like firing a referral source. Just because somebody wants to refer you business does not mean you need to accept their referrals. You can be a grown-ass adult, sit down with them and say, hey, look, I don't think I'm the best originator for you. I'd like to maybe recommend someone else within my organization, or maybe someone else across town. There's nothing wrong with you telling a borrower that you don't think you're the best person to facilitate their transaction, but you'd be more than happy to get them in contact with someone who is, because you have to protect your time. It is so precious. So allowing others to take advantage of you and your time, yes, I think that is a very common mistake that those that have gone from good to great have figured out how to better protect their time.
Well said, Dustin.
Thank you so much, John. I totally appreciate that.
I have something to add to this.
Yes.
Because, like I read books sometimes and occasionally I finish them. And this book was profound, is that if you want to be successful, it's in the last 5%. So people do 95% of the work. But you know this, you're like into fitness. The muscle growth happens in the last 5% of the workout, not like the first 10 reps. It's the last 2 reps that you can't get it up and your muscles feel weak.
Yeah, we call that going to failure.
Yeah, go to failure.
You have to go to failure. Yeah. So in business, how many times have you gone to failure?
No, I stop at 90%. I gave it my best effort, 93%, but really success is on the other 7% that you haven't done.
Yeah, no, I did that during a race, John. Like, I finished an Ironman race and I was not out of breath, and I gave my wife a hug and a kiss.
Soft ass, you didn't push yourself hard enough.
1,000%. That is 100% what had happened. And I was a little bit of a mental midget. My bitch brain took over. My
dad always used to call me that.
Yeah, our buddy Rob Farragher, my bitch brain took over, and here's what happened. I was going for a certain time, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do. I was trying to do 5 hours and 45 minutes, and I knew mathematically I was not going to get 5:45. Mm-hmm. I could have got 5:52. I could have got 5:48, but it was not going to be sub 5:45 mathematically. So I just cashed it in and coasted through the end of the race. I still finished with a PR. But after the race, I felt a little bit icky because I was like, yeah, I shouldn't be able to just walk up to my wife, give her a hug and a kiss. I should be like, yo, babe, give me like 2 or 3 minutes to catch my breath. I'm ready to pass out because I went to failure. In business, how many times have you failed? If you haven't failed enough, then you're not pushing yourself. You're not pushing the envelope. I love that story that you just shared.
Thank you.
Speaking of stories, I promised people I'd give them
I was hoping
90-second version.
There's no such thing
of a 3-minute story. Here's the deal. I was recently asked, Dio, why do you do all that you do? Like, why do you do all that you can do? At the end of the day, I could go originate 200 loans a year.
Yep.
I could run a small branch that is $100 million a year.
Let's go.
And I could make $1 million, $1.2 million a year, $1.5 million.
Where do I sign up?
Life is all well and good. And by doing so, I could, I'd end up helping those 200 borrowers, probably 100 real estate agents. My 4 or 5 LOs would each do 40, 50 transactions a piece. I'd help them get those 40, 50 transactions plus the realtors involved. Maybe several hundred people got impacted by that.
Let's go.
However, with what I'm doing with you and Mark and the rest of the TLOP crew, we're talking about impacting tens of thousands of originators.
Billions.
Just through the good, right? That's the newsletter. That's the YouTube channel. That's the podcast. Another couple thousand through the better, right? The better is the men and women who actually sign up for TLOP's originator coaching community. Another 100 through our best offering, right? Those are the men and women going through the 16-week boot camp. Mm-hmm. And then a dozen or 2 elite coaching. And then all of those men and women go out and help their communities.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about helping tens of thousands of people.
Fucking trillions of people. Dustin.
Yeah. So like, why do I do what I do? Because I think I can give the greatest impact on the industry I love and the communities that industry serves through TLOP than I could if I just did originating and branch management. So then it got me thinking, I'm in the 4th quarter of my career, and don't get me wrong, at 45 years and 46, holy shit.
You don't even know how old
I keep
you
on
are,
getting
you
younger and
old
younger.
Bastard. Look at
yeah,
you.
well, you know what? You put on your Uncle Badass t-shirt and you get younger, not older. But at 46 years of age, if I broke up my career into 7-year quarters, then no, I don't think I'm going to retire at 53, somewhere between 55 and 59. So I'm going to play overtime. Like there's going to be some bonus times for overtime played. But when I look at the first 7 years of my career, it was all about becoming a top producer, which I did within my second full year. I was doing 100 units. I then lost it all during the crash and rebuilt it 2 years later. So I spent 7 years being a top producer. The next 7 years was all about becoming a top producing branch manager. And at my height, we had 5 branches doing 40 million a month. And my team did 144 transactions that year. I made the most money. It's my first time I ever made over 7 figures. It was when I was the least healthy, the most out of shape, and probably the least happy.
Give me that lifestyle.
Oh, but I crushed it, right? So then the third 7 years, which is what I just completed, was all about growing into being a effective and impactful executive sales leader. So 7 years being a badass LO, 7 years being a badass producing branch manager, 7 years focused on becoming an effective and empowering divisional sales executive or senior sales executive. Shut up. Shut up. The final 7, this next chapter, no, it's taken all the lessons I learned through those first 3 quarters and using it to impact hundreds of thousands of people directly and indirectly. That's why we're TLOPing.
No, thank you.
It took us 5 years to get there, by the way.
Yeah, I guess.
5 years to get there. Here's the deal, y'all. His name is John Coleman. My name is Dustin Owen. If you like what we're doing, you got to share us. Sharing is caring. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our website, tloponline.com. Sign up for the newsletter. By signing up for the newsletter, you'll automatically be invited to a monthly free sales master class that I teach. If you need coaching, we offer coaching. We got better, we got best, we got elite. All that information is found on our website, tloponline.com. If you're interested in becoming a show sponsor, an advertiser, or booking me to speak at your next event, go to the website and under media inquiries, that's a great place to get started. He's JC, I'm DO. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.